Hello. Welcome back. This there was an update to WWE 2K22 that changed custom portraits. So I decided to make a new template, a new video to describe what's going on. So this is it right here. Let me move this over. This is everything going on. We have several steps here. So we have start here. We're going to twirl that open. Twirl, that's the terminology I'll use. Twirl that open. Start. Okay. And you'll notice here that every one of these has a number. This is the step. So we have start. We have step 2, step 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You get the point. So we're going to start with start. We're going to turn this on by hitting the blank checkbox. And your file, the file that I put up, should look exactly like this. We're going to start by turning on the box, which will produce the eyeball, which turns it on. This is our first screen. Why is this the first screen? Well, if you remember, this is the image that I uploaded to gauge what's visible. Now when we go to step 2, here's the match. Okay, so everything within this visible circle that shows the squares and the numbers, all that's what's going to be visible for your portrait. So this is process 1. This is all about reference points. You technically don't even have to do this, but this is here just so you know what's happening. Step 3, I used Goldberg this time and I actually took the render from the game. Took a screen cap, cut it out, all that stuff. So Goldberg, full reference, full render, reference. Click the eyeball to turn it on. This is Goldberg. This is his whole render. And it also, the good thing is, because the programmers were so generous, they did it right this time. It's an exact copy. It's an exact match from what you see in, say, the character roster screen. You know, it goes down to just below or just above their knees, maybe 3/4 of the thigh down, right above the knees. That's where most of them are. So that's our Goldberg full reference point. You'll notice he hits box 2 here. Doesn't hit box 1, but he hits box 2. And we can take away step 2 here. This is the full measurement of Goldberg's portrait. Put step 2 back on. Step 3 we are looking at. We'll turn it on, turn it off. Off, on. Okay. Now we're going to step 4. This is Goldberg's reference in the game. Okay. As he appears on the character select screen. It's an exact match. So here's Goldberg in the character select screen. If we take away the full render, you'll see him in there. Okay. And we can actually, no, I won't worry about that. You can see Goldberg's picture in the game. There's his actual full render. Okay. That's process 1. That's just to give you the confidence that everything's going to show up correctly. We'll leave this open. We'll leave start here, process 1, open. Next, end here, process number 2, build your portrait. This is probably the part you're looking forward to. You have a blank background, safety zones. You remember the safety zones. This right here is the group, the section that you will place the render. And this is, you'll click this, you'll reveal this to see what it will look like in game. And I'll show you what they'll look like in game as well. Blank background, we're starting with a blank canvas. We've got nothing here. We have no name, no nothing. Okay. That's step 5. Step 6, safety zones. And there's a little bracket note here that you can disable this after step 7 if you want. Step 6, turn on safety zones. Right here, top portrait should be between the white lines. Okay. Now these are the 2 white lines I'm talking about. This green area. This here, the red, dark, kind of dark faded red, that's your danger zone. I've noticed, I took a couple notes on what actually is in that area. JBL's hat is in that area. King's crowns, some of women's hair, you know, if they have really tall or high hair that gets flipped up or something like that, you'll see that in this zone. But also keep in mind, this solid red line, this right here, this isn't even a part of the game. Okay, this doesn't even show up. This goes off the screen. So technically, the top of this danger zone is the top of the screen. So if you go past the danger zone, you're screwed. You've missed it. Okay. Keep everything in pretty much the green area if you can. You'll see top of heads or top of hair there, mainly the guys if it's spiked. Most heads, they land at about the bottom. If you see the normal, you know, one-on-one normal here in the background, most heads land at the bottom of normal. And I kind of reviewed most of the heads, and they tend to land in this green area. Now you can make it shorter than the white line, the bottom line, if you want. It's just not going to look right. There might be 1 or 2 that just graze that white line or just under it, but they do look a little small. So review on the safety. This solid red doesn't exist in the game. Danger zone. The top of this danger zone is the end of the screen. Green is your safe zone. You can put a head there, you can put some hair in there, just don't go above the danger zone. I do remember, you know, the king's crowns, like costuming, you know, somebody has a portrait in their costume, like Charlotte, or a peacock feathers, you know, extend up there. Now, it's mainly costumes and things that extend that high. Alright, enough of the safety. Well, safety first, you know. Alright, so now we're going to do... Let's turn this off. Spoiler. Darn it. Darn it. Spoiler. Alright. Step 7. I have an insert renders here. Step 7 is where you put your renders or your portraits. I have the Rock. This is one that I just found. It's easy to find on images. It's pretty good size. Looks pretty good. Goes to about maybe half thigh. Maybe just, probably just above the knee a little bit there. I have positioned him in such a way. Let's make sure I'm grab here. Okay. You can move him around, do all this stuff. Let's kind of center him up here. There we go. Let's put him right there. Now, let's do see in game. Alright, this is what it'll look like in game. Now if we remember, the safety zone, it says disable after step 7. So let's disable this, turn off the safety zone. Now you have what it's actually going to look like. Okay. Turn them off. Blank. The Rock. There he is. Now, you also have what he'll look like as a proper, full-length portrait for the roster screen or GM or whatever you want to use it for. Another thing you can do is, let's match it up against Goldberg here real quick. Let's turn off the backgrounds. Let's turn this stuff off. Turn that off. So here's The Rock against that original grid. And here's Goldberg against that original grid. Rock's a little taller. Goldberg and actually Brock Lesnar are the same. Both of them. They're actually pretty short renders. There's many of them that are taller. There's many that are taller than Brock and Goldberg, which is kind of odd. Especially like some shorter guys, I can't remember their names, but they appear taller than Goldberg and Lesnar, even though they're about 6'3" together. Both of them about 6'3". Let's put The Rock back. And what else can we do here? Oh, yeah. Let's take Goldberg off. Let's leave the grid. Let's build it back from scratch here. We got our blank background. Good. We have our safety zones. Cool. Next, our render. I remember what I wanted to do. Let's turn the safety zones back off. And blank background. Let's put Goldberg back. Now, this is just an extra tip. If you notice, if you look at The Rock and, the exposure, the skin, it's not as shiny. Like Goldberg's forehead is shiny. There's a little more depth to Goldberg than there is The Rock. So, to compensate for that, I created this exposure adjustment layer, and let's just 0 these. That's 1. So here's The Rock by default. Now we can brighten them up a little bit, create a little more shadow. The key thing that I look for is do the blacks, do the black colors, are they underexposed, or are they overexposed? I'm checking the black on his trunks to see if they complement the black on Goldberg's trunks, and that is the wrong integer, isn't it? Let's back up 0, back to default. So if we go to exposure, let's get the skin color kind of brightened up a little bit. It's looking a little bright right here comparatively. Now you may not be able to see that in the video, but it's there. So let's offset it to see, like, this brightens them up big time. So let's just bring them down a little bit, create some depth. Nope, I want to keep that about there. I'm going to bring this maybe about right there. So this is the one I did now. Okay, that's what it looked like initially. Here's the adjustment. Now here's the one that I actually put in the game. This is the adjustment I put in the game. That's the first adjustment I did. And second, I think I like the first one better. But this is the one that's going to appear in the game, which I will show you. Where's my controller? Let's scroll down. here it is in the game. Switch over. This is what it looks like in the game as I saved it. I saved it as it is. So I'll put the rock back in the middle. Flip back over to Photoshop and I'll turn that on. That way you can see. I'll put the rock back in the middle, roughly. May not be the exact same spot, but it'll do. And then let's turn off Goldberg. Let's turn this off. This is how I saved it. Save it as a PNG. Save it out. The document's already set as, 1024 by 1024. You're ready to roll. Now let's see where he lines up on the grid. He's just touching 1. And one more thing about the grid. Let's go back to this one. You'll notice some of these grid colors aren't even showing up. Like green, that doesn't show up. Orange shows up a little bit right here. Red shows up a little bit here. Bright green doesn't show up. Even on the the big screens, like the full body renders on the roster screen, I don't even think it shows green at all. Like it only goes to about orange. So they did fix the custom portrait problem, but this is a way that you can be sure that they're going to work correctly. They'll be full body. You can check full body, and then you can check in-game as well. So let me see, let's back up. There's our in-game render right there. It's pretty close. If it's not 1-to-1, it's it's really, really close. But this document is something that you can trust, that will help you get what you want, what you're looking for. So I will leave a copy of the document in the description. You can download it. It is Photoshop format. I'm not sure what translates over to other programs. I'm not sure about any of that. So this is a Photoshop document. I don't know if the groups translate over or anything, or adjustment layers. I can't help you there. But in Photoshop, this is how you can do it. It's a PSD document. Download it in the description. Like, comment, subscribe. I do answer comments if you have any issues. And let's take one last look at this. Let's flip over. There it is. Not bad. Pretty sweet. So if there's something I missed, just let me know, and I'll see you guys next time, if there is a next time, just like last time. Who knows? See you guys.